Hello.
Good
Hi.
morning.
Hi, Dalton.
Hi.
You filming at the Days Inn? You're at the Days Inn right now?
Yeah, I'm at the Days Inn,
Nice.
the continental breakfast.
Good for you. You just wake up?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, crawling from the wreckage.
you should talk
How was the breakfast? Did they actually have a real one, or was it just like apples and a muffin?
water beer back.
Yeah, it was Danish and some frosted flakes.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, a little orange juice, a little coffee.
nice. The trinity of life-giving sustenance.
Yes,
Trinity.
Are you on the road right now?
the road. No,
Are
no,
you are you
I'm just.
touring,
No, you
performing?
should. I'll give you the TLDR on Dalton because Dalton has a good long story, but I got a good TLDR. Dalton was like a podcaster who was like loved by those like Legion of Skanks type guys
Uh-huh.
and making good money on a podcast, and then had a mental health breakdown during COVID because a couple things, life trauma, drugs, and COVID and reality. And he had
Yeah.
a hard time psychologically, and he kind of bottomed out. And now he's on his way back up. He started Patreon. He has already $100 a month coming in, if not more. He's
Hell
doing
yeah.
Yes.
Is that a good TLDR, Dalton?
Yeah, I guess
How do you feel
so.
about it?
Yeah, that about sums it
yourself
up.
too.
Yeah.
I just wanted to pitch it.
I mean, I don't trust anyone who didn't have a mental breakdown during COVID. I know I did.
No, I couldn't speak for a whole month.
Yeah, I mean, like, how do you not react to that?
Yeah. Yeah, I had a full I've talked about it a lot. I've had a full psychotic break, so
Truman
yeah.
Show type vibe, like thinking the government's after him, but it is not after anyone.
Yeah. But
It's
I'm back. I'm making tons of money podcasting now.
tons. The first billionaire podcaster is how Dalton identifies.
The
Hell,
fir- I'm
hell yeah.
I started my own network, the Billionaire Podcast Network.
Are you saving up for a submarine already?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love the idea for the other show you had at Dalton. What was it called? Where I seen him before?
Yeah, that's what's going on tomorrow. Where I seen them before, a celebration of guys. And
Character actors.
yeah, it's all about guys. The guys.
I yeah.
When you're watching
I
a
love
movie and you're like, "Yo, where I seen them before? Who that guy?"
who's that guy sitting on the bench saying something as the main couple walks by?
Yeah, yeah. It's just one of my.
Like
I
Willem Dafoe, like an idea of like a Willem Dafoe episode where it's like
I love Willem Dafoe.
Willem
I love a character
Dafoe.
actor.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe kind of made the jump to beloved, almost leading man now. But
Yeah, he did.
yeah, but I guess for the longest time he was kind of a character guy. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just one of my I guess like autistic obsessions is just to be anytime I'm watching a movie or whatever, I'm always looking for the guys.
what do you mean?
Totally.
I'm looking for the guys. Like you have the leading actors and actresses, but then I'm on the lookout for the guys, just the people who the when you
The
look at their
ancillary characters.
yeah the actors who like when you look at their filmography on Wikipedia or whatever. Oh shit! Hold on. When you look at their filmography on Wikipedia, it's all they've been in like 200 movies. So it's
Yeah, like
these
they're always working, but nobody recognizes them on the street.
right, yeah. Those are the people I like Bill Sadler or
That's cool.
yeah, Bill.
Yeah, I love I'm always into a side character, especially somebody who really steals the scene, because I think often there's more space for them to be interesting. because they don't have to fit into the cookie cutter. Oh, this protagonist is on the hero's journey. You know, they get to be like the weirdo who's just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, like a Tim Blake Nelson or
See, this is perfect because I'm not name recognizing people, so it's proving your point. I'm like, yeah, exactly. But if I Googled him, I'd probably recognize him.
you would absolutely recognize Tim Blake Nelson. You've seen him in a lot of stuff.
I'm gonna pull him up for myself just for a visual reference
Blake,
right now.
it's a cool name. It's like three.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's in
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
Wow.
guy right there.
Where I've seen him before.
Oh yeah, where I seen him before. No, you've seen him in everything. Oh brother, where art thou?
Oh.
Buster Scruggs, that Watchmen TV show, Incredible Hulk with Ed Norton.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean he's probably in more movies than a lot of bigger names.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's the show. So we were supposed to, or my buddy Nick, I reached out to you, but we were tomorrow we're recording I guess the first episode all about Emmett Walsh. See how it goes.
Nice. Wait, so is it called The Guys?
It's called Where I Seen Them Before, a celebration of guys.
Oh, great. That's also good for the SEO when people are searching.
Yeah.
And then Dalton's main podcast is called Corn Fed with Dalton Pruitt.
Yes.
Corn fed.
Yeah,
Excellent.
corn fed.
I love that. That's awesome. I mean, that shit's good. We need more guys who are good, who are like that. I don't know. I'm a big fan of trad guys who are nice. You're not trad, but like, I don't know. You're pretty sympathetic with men. I mean, I don't know. I feel bad for a lot of guys. Like, people don't give a fuck that most people who are homeless are men. Most people addicted to drugs are men. Most people not fucking are men. Like, it sucks. If I was a guy, I'd be like, yo, love me, bitch. I don't know. I just have empathy.
Yeah, being a guy sucks. It's not fun.
Yeah. I mean, I like Jordan Peterson. I think people don't know enough of his work. Like, I've listened to many of his lectures. They're like highly sympathetic and loving of women. They're like, there's one.
No, they're not.
They listen to
I don't know.
I think you and I
Is this a setup, Sarah? Did you set me up?
I'm trying to fuck you over. But there's a really good lecture that I relate to that's like, women are more emotionally neurotic on the spectrum because they have more threat in general, like sexual violence. And the vulnerability to pregnancy means you have to have the emotional capacity to react to a child. So women in general are more sensitive. And like, I just think that's like a kind of basic description of like why there would be a biological difference in like traits, character traits. And nothing wrong with that. I think he's a dumbass in many ways. He says a lot of dumbass shit because he doesn't realize it's almost like he's too smart and too inexperienced to understand the problems women face in certain times. But I think he doesn't, his intention. I care about his intention, and I think he's right about.
How do you know his intention?
I don't know his vibe. I feel like I get people's energy. I don't know. I can't say
You get Jordan Peterson's energy.
I get
What is his energy? What's his tarot vibe? What are you reading?
Like he's got this like bucolic family life with like a wife and a daughter and like all the maybe from all outside appearances. So he doesn't realize like the problems of patriarchy. So he's like a dumbass regarding like the downsides. I think so.
So he's weaponizing that ignorance to spread misinformation and cause more discord. I don't really think that's an empathetic position.
Essentially, I suspect
he's not a random guy. He's a guy who has he has a really large platform.
I know, fuck it. I know, I don't like him.
And you also can't be you have to choose one defense. Either he's incredibly intelligent or he's ignorant about what he's doing. He doesn't get to hide behind both.
But aren't we all dumbasses? I don't know. I'm confused. I don't know. By the way, I will
What's his deal that he
pronounce attachment to him and just say some of his ideas I think are positive. It's not him. It's just certain things he's tapped on or discussed that I think are worth discussing. It's not even about him.
I guess I feel like the things he discusses that, like you're naming, a lot of people discuss that don't have the same.
Yeah. But he also tells men to fucking clean their room, which I think is important. Bitches. Fucking room. Anyway, Dalton, what's up? What do you think?
I mean, everybody's mom tells men to clean their room as well. Maybe they should have a podcast.
Isn't his whole deal that he was like a professor or something at some college, and then they were asking him to acknowledge that trans people like. So I don't really remember the whole story. Wasn't it just like it was like at the turning point when I guess the culture wars hadn't really started.
I know what it was is he reacted to a Canadian law that required you by law to say somebody's gender as they identified by law. And he was against it being litigated and legal. He said, if anybody told me their gender and to use their preferred pronouns, I would use them because I'm a loving and like normal person. I would never misgender someone. But I don't want the law to be involved.
Right. But he was relatively like unknown at that point. And then that happened, and he kind of like became one of the first I don't know, like martyrs of the culture war, I guess. And
a darling of the
He's not a martyr. How is he a martyr?
I don't know, but like the thing that happens where like there's like this political event or somebody loses their I don't know, they lose a job or something happens that's based on like politics and culture and identity, and then so a guy like that loses a job, gets invited on the Joe Rogan Experience, gets to talk his shit, and it's like that. This just weird thing that happens where it's like, so he lost his job, but now the reason why he lost his job and telling this story, now he gets to position himself as like this ideologue who is like even more successful than he was ever gonna be had he just like kept his job at the college.
Yeah, he's basically created this martyr figure for himself, and he's actually profited off of it and built his career off of it. This idea, it's this ironic idea of being like, nobody lets me say anything as your following grows larger than most people's followings will ever be, and then people act like if you don't like him, you're closed-minded. Or you're anti-intellectual.
Yeah,
he's a scammer. He's a faux intellectual scammer who has said incredibly transphobic things that hurt people, but then likes to hide behind this idea of freedom. But if he faces any consequences, then he's being attacked. And it's like, who's the fucking snowflake?
Right. No, that is a problem with these guys and that's my criticism of him. That's why I'm not like bothered by him, because he's a bit of a bitch. Like all these things he discusses, like that he calls like neurotic or female, I'm like, yo, who's you the most
I mean, he's clearly like a very sad man.
Neurotic.
Like,
he's his description of what it is to be a woman or what it is to be a neurotic. He needs those things, but
right.
You guys for explaining it, your perspectives, because I agree. It's just I hadn't thought about it that way. It's interesting.
I guess I just feel like he could do better. I actually have enough faith in him as an individual, with a brain to and the capacity for empathy, that he could be less of a fucking asshole. It's like if my worst uncle got a big following, I'm not gonna be like, oh, we don't Uncle Jeff, he needs this. I'd be like, fuck you, asshole. And that's how I feel about Jordan Peterson.
I have a lot of respect for con artists. I think I've said this, there's no higher calling in this life than the grift. And
yeah, I mean, Anna Delvey, I was like, wow, just pretend you're rich and scam all these pretentious, like society people. That's fucking hilarious. I do love the spectacle of a scammer.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. We're in a bold new age of con men and charlatans and hucksters. Like, didn't the what's the thing going around now with Anna from Red Scare? She was at some event. It was like her and Grimes and
Oh, I heard about that like a week ago.
Barry Weiss and the lady who like quit
What
being
a
Muslim.
nightmare blunt rotation. Can you
As,
imagine?
as feminism failed women, it was like some kind of big talking event.
Everyone's
Yeah,
right.
but what I
How
don't know.
feminism failed my brand.
Yeah, I
Bitch,
don't
go
know.
help someone get an abortion.
Right.
I don't know much about like Anna or Dasha, but wasn't their whole thing like 6 or 7 years ago like they were socialists or something like that at that time? That was the grift. And
Yeah,
now they're
Dasha. Yeah. Dasha went viral. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you.
Oh, go ahead, Bronwyn.
it's Zoom. But yeah, well, no, I mean, but you probably know more about it than I do. So you'd be better explaining. But all I know is
Fan of Red Scare for like a year, and then I kind of drifted. But Dasha had a viral video because she dressed as Sailor Moon and said some socialist shit at like a event in the city on the street where InfoWars tried to like get her, and she said some really like intelligent like socialist type shit dressed as Sailor Moon, which was pretty dope, honestly. And then I think somebody found Anna and then connected them and was like, you two would be a good pair. And Anna was like, she was like an intellectual. She was like a master's student at some kind of fucking, I don't know, intellectual shit, humanities. And her father's a math professor in New Jersey. I mean, I know these women's backgrounds because I thought that they had a certain kind of what's the word, ideology that was not common, where it was like they were pretty progressive but regressive. And the thing I liked the most that they had was like, yeah, sex work is work, but there's a reason that most women don't want to do it. And like we need to stop acting like it's like this incredibly amazing thing all the time and everybody needs to be on OnlyFans. And I was like, fuck, yes, no one's saying this. Because I felt like I had to start a fucking OnlyFans to have a comedy career. You have no idea how many men just DM me going, what's your OnlyFans? I don't have one. I talked to Dalton about this. So I liked that they were putting that forward, but it's, you know, they're like adjacent to Come Town, which is also like the dirtbag left. And like in general, these people are actually at their core. I don't even like doing this like dichotomy of liberal versus conservative, but it's a grift.
yeah, I don't, and you know, all power to them. Like, you know, get that bag, I guess, because like they never came across to me as women that had any like real convictions about anything.
No.
Yeah, it was just like whichever way the wind is blowing and wherever the money is. That's why I think like they get along so well with someone like Tim Dillon and Alex Jones and all that. Because
Oh
like,
yeah, it's all kind of it's all theater, which is why
yeah,
the flip-flopping is so easy because there's no like skin in the game emotionally or ideologically. It's really like, oh, we can fuck with people this way. Okay.
yeah, just like where's the money? Like what? How can I
Yeah.
appeal to the largest possible audience and get the most money? And like
And I
position myself as like a a man of the people, even though like I don't respect the people that I'm presenting to.
yeah, even though I think they're idiots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think one of my theories about, particularly in comedy, you'll see these massive slides into, oh, this person is like fully in this kind of alt-right pipeline now. Are people who didn't really have an ideology they cared about, but because of podcasting culture or because of comedy culture, felt they needed to have a strong stance. And it's easier to make money in conservative spaces because it's a smaller group of demographics. It's less diverse. You're not trying to connect with as many different kinds of people, so you can pick these talking points that are really straightforward. Whereas on the left, there's a lot more different kinds of people, and so there's going to be a lot more nuance in how you communicate, even if it's comedy. And so it's way easier to piss off your fans. And so I think that people who are just like, I want to make money, I don't really care about what I say, are just like, okay, I'm going to go this extreme over here. That's
Yeah, I
my
mean, why not?
theory. It's I don't have, I'm not like
I mean, that's
scientifically
smart.
testing
I
my
mean,
theory.
No, it doesn't even have to be about intention. It just is like how it works. I don't even think it's even
I think it could just
Well,
happen if you're not thinking about it,
I think if you're like an actual like true artist, you more often than not, you're just too mentally ill to even like function. Because like
Yeah, there's that.
the most talented people I've ever met are like basically homeless. So I think you have to
Yeah.
have some of that like used car salesman, real estate agent inside of you to effectively navigate any environment.
reminds me of something Bronwyn said on
Yeah.
a with Anthony about a homeless person. Like, are they an entrepreneur or are they a con man or something like that? Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like exactly. I totally agree with that. I mean, you have to be you got to kind of be a bit sinister or get born on third base in order to navigate the system, especially if you want to work as a creative.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, because I
it's a
think like
hard bargain.
the people I met who like consider themselves like artists or like having some sort of artistic integrity, they're like almost ashamed or embarrassed to try and sell what they're doing. Like they don't want to ask for money for it. So it's like the people who actually succeed aren't necessarily the most talented. They're just the ones that are willing to hustle the most.
Oh yeah, like they know how to market and they're looking at that versus the attention's going out like that instead of into their work or their ideas. There's not that preciousness, the kind of terrifying feeling of caring about what you're making.
Right. Yeah, I mean it's it's definitely a tightrope, and I have a lot of respect for both sides. Where it's like if you're a con man, I can that's a talent in itself. Being a good con artist, being a good grifter, I suppose.
It's like a its own form of performance art.
It's something. I mean, it's interesting to me to like study all these because I guess with the internet it's the wild west again. So there's so many of these figures popping up that I like look at and I can't tell like if any of them have any real convictions about anything or if like how much of this is just motivated by money, like appealing to this like huge audience and just getting as much money as possible. Like I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Like
And I mean, I think
well, I mean, like, because we were like, I don't know. I mentioned Tim Dillon earlier, and he's like, he is a funny guy, but he more than anything, he just comes off as like a used car salesman. Like, I listen to him talk, and I'm like, yo, this dude. I think this dude will do anything to just be wealthy.
I could see him on QVC selling like a ridiculous kind of soap.
Yeah.
Trump steaks.
Yeah.
You guys remember they were so
what?
You guys remember Trump had a line of steaks he sold at Sharper Image, which was like a tech company before iPhones. You remember that?
Yes.
God, I wish Trump had never been president for a lot of reasons, but probably the least important reason is that he's so funny that like if he hadn't actually been given power to fuck shit up and hurt people, like he's just be funny to watch, just be a failed businessman.
I heard that like his team probably discussed how he was scowl in his mugshot. He chose to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He was smoldering in that mugshot. He looked good.
Yeah, would you?
Do what?
Would you?
Would I have sex with Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be a fun story.
It would be a story. Like, I mean, that'd be a story.
Oh my god, you guys. That's
yeah.
Not have sex with Donald Trump. I keep thinking about Melania like almost every day, worried for her that she has to have sex with him. I would never, could never.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't think I could get myself to do that. I think I would want to hear if you had sex with him. I would be like, hey, can I buy you lunch so you can tell me about fucking Donald Trump?
Yeah.
And get the lowdown.
How much did he pay you even? It's like, I just can't relate to the idea of being attracted to somebody like him because he's such a fucking psycho. There's nothing charming about him except for how fucking, there's nothing about him. You have to be fucking for pay at that point. And that's what I do respect about Melania is I just feel like she just wanted a rich husband. She got one. That's it.
Yeah, she really, I bet every day she's like, damn, there's so many rich men that aren't this much.
I was fucking intern.
She's like, couldn't I have been with a boring rich man who's like older and actually died?
In their life, they were like,
really got
he's rich and socialized, and then he fucking ran for president. Now she's fucking in the public. She never wanted that, you know?
Yeah.
I think he's charming. I think he's a silver-tongued devil.
He used
to
Did you see that clip where it was like some old episode of The Apprentice, and one of the guys there he was talking to, he's like, so you're gay? And the guy's like, yeah, and he goes, that's a great thing about America. A lot of people, a lot of things, that's why every restaurant's got a menu. Some people like steak, I like steak, some people like spaghetti.
And some of us like both.
Honest, like the whole reason I ended up moving to New York is I loved The Apprentice as a 7 or 8 year old girl. I was obsessed with The Apprentice. I loved Omarosa. I wanted to be just like her.
Oh my God, Sarah, the amount of layers to unpack from that is like a one-woman show in itself. That's so funny.
That's before any of these people were like
powerful. Well, I know, that's why it's so funny to imagine like childhood Sarah being like, yeah, and then all of this happens.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm exhausted by everything now. Like everything's been consumed by like politics and ideology, and I'm stupid. Like I don't know what anyone is talking about ever. Like I don't understand. Go ahead.
Oh, do you use Twitter still? Because I swear Twitter's always been bad. And obviously we all know Elon Musk made it worse because he doesn't know what he's doing. But I swear now when I log on, it is more incomprehensible than ever before. And like no one is doing okay.
No. Well, Twitter's great. Twitter's great for like these moments that happen every now and then. They're just like cultural touchstones. I sent Sarah this where Tim Dillon had posted that picture of him and Anna, and he was like, I'm not gay anymore. It was just a phase or whatever.
It's funny.
And the first comment underneath it was RFK Jr. saying, she's a beautiful woman, Tim. I can see how. What did he say? Hold on, because he deleted it. But I don't remember exactly how he worded it. Oh, no,
he took it earnestly. Oh, I love RFK Jr. This episode on Tim Dillon was really good.
He said, Tim Dillon had just got married. Homosexuality was a phase. And then the now deleted tweet from RFK Jr. was, she is a beautiful angel, Tim. Easy to see how she ungayed you.
RFK Jr. is like a tragic Shakespearean figure. Yes. Like his whole arc as this traumatized guy who now is a fucking snake oil, like, but like cared about the environment, and is so wild.
And he's married to Cheryl from Curb.
Do you know that, Bronwyn? He's married to the woman who plays like what's his name, Larry David's wife on.
Yeah, Cheryl Hines.
What?
You didn't know that?
No.
I think it was a thing.
They're in separate universes in my brain. This is a canon event for me right now.
Yeah, I think it was a thing that, because I didn't even know he existed until I guess like this election. Like I didn't know that there was just, I never know how many Kennedys are floating around at any given time.
Yeah, I hear ya.
And so I just remember like months ago reading some article about him, and it mentioned his wife, and it says her name is Cheryl Hines. And I was like, oh, that's funny. His wife has the same name as the lady from Curb Your Enthusiasm. And then like I saw a picture of him and his wife together somewhere, and I'm like, wait, it is Cheryl. There's like pictures of Larry David at their wedding, like hanging out with them.
It's so funny. You know, I always think that when you get to a certain level of fame or wealth, it kind of doesn't matter where you live. The neighborhood you live in is just other famous, wealthy people. And so whenever I see pictures of famous people I'd never think would be friends, because they, one of them is an actor and the other is like from a political family or whatever. I'm just like, yeah, they're somehow they all know each other.
Mm-hmm.
So
money talks.
Yeah. It's like that's the circle they're in, and it's a small. Oh, that's so crazy. Wow, I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole after this, looking at that.
Because like apparently, I think I listened to like a Patreon from Tim that was like, for a long time, like she's an actress and a comedian. She doesn't do stand-up much anymore, but for a long time she was just like, oh yeah, he's doing his thing. I'm doing my thing. We're doing our things. Like she didn't really like talk about his political career or ever like appear next to him. And then like that was a very good interview that Tim did with RFK, because they exposed a lot of like military industrial complex and like how America's making all this money off the war in Ukraine versus Russia, and how BlackRock is buying up all this farmland in the Ukraine. And like,
talk about the Jews are using 5G to give you lupus.
They're talking about shit nobody's talking about. And I was like, and apparently the power went out during that episode in the middle of it for 15 minutes. RFK thought he was going to get assassinated. Like, shit. Like, it was a very good episode in terms of just like spitting facts. I was like, nobody running for president is talking like this. But that's the first episode or first appearance publicly where the wife was next to him for this thing. It's kind of cool.
Was Tim Dillon's podcast?
Yeah. Like last week or 2 weeks ago.
What is life?
I love Tim Dillon's podcast.
I'm sorry, it's just the fact that somebody I knew at the Creek in the Cave is talking to presidential candidates on a podcast, and that's where their spouse is. Like, I don't know what life is anymore. I like simulation theory feels more real every day.
That relates to Dalton's anxieties during COVID and before COVID. Dalton always felt like he was part of some kind of Truman Show type situation.
I didn't always feel like that. When the final synapses in my brain short circuited, that's what happened. But I'm coming back. I'm getting in on the grift.
That sounds terrifying, though.
Yeah. Oh, it ruined my life, but you bounce back.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're bouncing back.
Trying to anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'm making my own Truman Show. I'm the producer, director, actor, writer. Okay. Believe.
It's one of my favorite movies. I'm excited to see. Or
I love Jim Carrey.
Be involved in. Yeah, Jim Carrey is such a good comedic actor.
I love fucking Eternal Sunshine.
Oh, are you willing to die on that hill?
What do you
just like what a bold stance, Jim Carrey. No, I'm just
as a good comedic actor or as a person.
It just made me laugh. The way you said that was like as though he's been slept on in some way.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like the intonation was
a little unique thing about me is that I like one of the most famous comedic actors. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey.
James Carrey,
yeah.
That's what he was.
He's James.
That's what he was billed as on In Living Color. Was James Carrey, yeah.
I love that.
What was In Living Color about?
Black people.
Oh yeah, Black people liked Jim Carrey because he's very expressive and emotional. That's what it was. Yeah. That happened with him.
Yeah.
It happened.
Yeah, it was it was a black centric sketch show. So he was
Really good.
You got to start in there, right? Yeah.
A unique thing about me is that I really liked In Living Color. I don't know if you guys have heard of it.
There's some great sketches. Like, what if the army
Yeah.
was gay? It was one of the sketches they had was gay army.
That's funny.
Which, like,
I have to check that out. Gay.
But yeah, it's.
I mean, it is gay. The army.
Yeah, it is kind of gay, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, like, fellas, is it gay to get sent off to kill a bunch of other men? Yeah, it's gay.
Fellas, is it gay to only hang out with your bros, work out all the time, and sleep in bunk beds?
Mm-hmm. Wasn't it, that was also where like Jennifer Lopez got her start?
Oh, really?
I think so. Yeah, because it was,
I don't remember.
It was like Wild and Out in the 90s. Like
it was like the Wild and Out of the 90s, or late 80s, early 90s, because they would have like the what do they call it, the B girls or whatever. So it was like just different women dancing in between sketches and then a DJ or whatever. And I think J-Lo was one of them, and Queen Latifah
I love
was
that.
like. Yeah, I think Queen Latifah was like one of the DJs or something like that. It was a crazy show. It was a crazy time.
Super good.
I need to watch that. That's when everything was okay. The 90s was like the peak of everything. Bill Clinton, saxophone, Monica Lewinsky, Leaves of Grass,
Mm-hmm.
good TV.
Oh yeah, yeah. Wow, these pictures of J-Lo from In Living Color are pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
She's got like the finger gloves on. She's got a choker. It's very of the moment.
What are finger gloves? Is it just the fingers?
Just those gloves where your fingers are exposed.
Oh, fingerless gloves.
Fingerless gloves, yeah.
Because you said finger gloves, and I was imagining just finger sleeves. So it's like the negative.
Yeah, she's got the thing just on the finger.
Yeah. There you go. That's a good idea. Somebody, Sarah, why don't you go ahead and order some fabric on Alibaba or something? just the fingers.
Finger shafts.
Yeah.
Charge an exorbitant amount for them, even though everyone's going to lose each finger as the day goes on.
Oh, there you go. It encourages people to buy like bulk fingers.
I'm trying to sell these I had stickers made in June. I only had one buyer. I have to ship him out his sticker. I was in New York City when the wildfire fumes moved here, and we had the worst air quality in like the world that day. Like, I stepped outside and started coughing. It was really bad. I made stickers that said I was in New York City when the tragic wildfire engulfed it. And so you can steal valor for a very affordable cost. It's only $5 plus shipping. I will send you stickers. I was in New York City when the tragic wildfire.
That's the American dream.
Mm-hmm. I do that with I voted stickers. So I'm not going in the polls, but I will put on the sticker for social media.
Do anything for clout.
Yeah, just because I don't want people up my ass about voting. So it's like, let me get a picture with the sticker, and then everybody thinks
that's so funny.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I know a lot of people who have the opposite, where they voted, but then they forgot to get the sticker, and then I had a friend who's like, "Oh no, I'm worried people are gonna think I didn't vote," and then I love that, like, you scroll up and then there's a picture of you with the sticker, and you're like, "Yeah, I didn't." I didn't go.
That's kind of where I have like boomer brain when it comes to like politics and voting and all that. Is like that should be something that's just never discussed. I don't know why it's like such an issue. Like, whether you vote or don't vote, or who you vote for, I'm always like, that's really nobody's business. Like, I don't understand why it's such a big deal.
Like, stay out of my bedroom.
Yeah.
Because I feel that way about pronouns. When people make me fill out my pronouns, I am a she, her. I'm not saying I'm obviously a she, her, but I really actually don't care what people call me. And I'm like, why are you making me talk about it? Like, I get annoyed
right.
for that reason. I'll do it, but I'm just like, it's ridiculous and gratuitous. to invade my gender identity in such a way that I have to put it out there? What if I want to keep it private? Fuck
Have you ever filled out a job application that asks you your sexual orientation?
And your ethnicity. Yeah.
Ethnicity's
Oh,
been
yeah.
around forever. That's been a standard question forever. But I've seen on applications now where they're like, "What's your sexual orientation?" And I'm like, "What? Like,
Yeah.
why do the things that make me horny? Why is that relevant to this position? I don't understand. Like, what this has to do with anything."
Yeah, I always wonder how much of that is just tracking for like census data, or so the company, if they have any HR problems, then they can pull up their percentages and say, oh, well, we actually have this percentage of, LGBTQ people and this
Yeah.
percentage. I always assume everything's like a bad faith HR cover up that's being done in advance.
It all works together. Good data collection for the government, and it's also good protect your ass for HR, because to be honest, one of the things in my employment situation I realized is after I got fired after taking disability leave and then had no severance, I was like, I am the only full-time woman.
Yeah.
Fuck. That's not a good look.
Hey, boss,
Nope.
just so you know, I'm attracted to men's asses. So think about that before you fire me.
Like seeing the asses shake a little bit, I like a little jiggle.
Yeah. I just couldn't
You just
imagine.
like make eye contact with your boss while describing something
Yeah,
that gets you
your
off, and they're
sexual
just
preference. You're like,
oh.
I like trans women with penises.
Why not? I mean, the thing is, it's just crazy. Like, I don't know. No, in the name of being liberal, people invade each other's privacy, I think.
I mean, I think it depends on the context though. Sometimes people are just asking, like sometimes someone meets you, they find out your name, and then you're like, actually, I have a nickname. Like, this is my legal name. This is my nickname. I don't go by Elizabeth. I go by Liz, but Elizabeth is on my name tag. I think that a lot of those conversations are just people wanting to make sure that they're addressing people how they want.
I think so too.
And like, again, like if you don't care that much about it, then you can just say,
I think
I'm trying to undress people how they want, you know what I'm saying?
Wait, what? Say that again.
I'm trying to
you're gonna make him say that again. Really, Sarah? You're gonna make him do that?
I'm trying to undress people the way they want, you know what I'm saying?
That's hilarious, Dalton. I mean, yeah, it's annoying to me when it's like LinkedIn or employment, but otherwise I think it is actually very empathetic and earnest most of the time, especially person to person. Like,
oh yeah, employment, it is weird because it is very invasive. Yeah, I think a social setting where people are just trying to make sure, like, am I addressing you how you want is cool. But yeah, a workplace just being like, so tell me everything.
As we had this whole conversation, it's like almost like two different pockets of my brain. I'm like, oh, of course, in person, I'm never bothered. But then I'm like, no, fuck you, stay out of my life, And
I think it's like I've none of the job, like I've never had even though I have technically a full-time job, I've never really had a super corporate job. And so I don't think I've experienced those kinds of things in the workplace as much, because it's always been like a really small company or freelance or under the table work. So I haven't had to go through that kind of
I had a job that.
So I think that's why I was like, oh, social stuff, it's fine. And I'm like, right, you're talking about LinkedIn. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a job where like one day I guess they decided this was a good idea. They spent like all this money to have like some team come in and do like sensitivity training for the whole office. And I don't know why. There wasn't like any issues within the office, but they're like, we need to have like a 3 or 4 hour presentation on like how to properly conduct yourself in an office setting. And it was like, it was crazy, like what the training entailed, because it felt like we were being treated like kindergartners. Like, like they were just extolling like lessons you would learn from like Barney onto us. Except like the CEOs paid them thousands of dollars to come do this.
They're like, think about how other people feel.
It was literally just like that, like very like basic, kind of reductive things that we all learned watching Mr. Rogers. But we're all adults working in an office. It was crazy. I was like, I don't understand. Like, I thought we all knew this. Like, we all knew not to like go honk each other's titties and like
right.
whatever.
You do that after work. But
Dalton.
Yeah, it's well. What?
Bronwyn, your customer service job.
Do what?
Tell her the customer service job with the children's clothing. She'll love this. Do you know?
I worked for a company that specialized in gender neutral children's clothing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Right now?
I did. No, I did. And then I just like, went crazy. But yeah, that was
right. Yeah.
But he spent like hours on the phone with women, like walking them through the website, helping them. And they would ask him.
Oh yeah, well yeah, all the like Hasidic women, I guess, because like their husbands don't let them use the internet or something. Like I don't know what I don't know what's going on in the Hasid community, but all the Hasidic women either they didn't know how to use a computer or they just weren't allowed to. So we would get like every back to school season, as soon as we started seeing like the 718 area code pop up, we're like, oh fuck, the Jews are back. And with the Hasids at least. Nothing wrong with Jews.
Oh my god.
No, there's nothing wrong with Jews, but there is something wrong
with
there's something wrong with Hasids. So it's like,
because the way you have to, it's funny because that is true. I mean, I've met women. I used to take Uber Pool all the time. I get in the car with Hasidic women who could not even speak English. They were not taught English. And then in my neighborhood, I was actually stalked by a Hasidic man. And what's funny is that I think this bias, liberal or what do they call it? Secular people have is like, oh, we assume religious people are like very conservative, modest, and safe. No, I've been like stalked by one of my previous conservative landlord. I mean, I've been stalked by people in general, not just Hasidic people, but I just think this is like disarming thing where you're like, oh, you're traditional and you're religious, that must mean you're safe. But I don't know. I'm very uncomfortable now sometimes. I mean, I'm uncomfortable with men in general, but I can't believe even me, I consider myself empathic or whatever. I misjudge certain character. But anyway, I think it's just.
You couldn't see yourself with a Hasid? You couldn't see yourself?
I could. I'm not opposed. Love is
what
love.
If a Hasid wanted you to like peg him and like tug on it?
Anyone, it's just not my sexuality. Wait, but
he wanted you to tug on his curls while you fuck him in the ass.
Okay, so I think like first of all, a Hasidic Jewish person, not like we. Here's the thing: like religious fundamentalism isn't a good look on most people. Like you're saying, like religious fundamentalism leads to a lot of fuckery and abuse. I don't think that's like a Jewish person thing.
It's not. It's a fundamentalist issue in general, like ISIS, for example, or for certain Christian evangelicals. But what was I gonna say? Oh, one of the things I thought was funny about your job is they would ask you like how to describe a color, describe the color yellow. And
yeah, because we had the site would have like all kinds of different colors, and the colors were named based on like real life things. So like instead of just green, it was grass or whatever, grape, raspberry, and so like I would tell them like the colors we had, and then these ladies would be like, can you describe that color to me? And I'd be like, yo, that's like a philosophical like thought experiment. I have no idea how to do that. I don't know how to tell you like explain a color to anybody.
Yeah, like that is wild. And you're just like, it's like when your grandma says I'm trying to go on the internet, and you say open up the internet page, and they're like, what's the internet page? And then you're like describing the symbol, and you're just like, there's no, and they're not even in front of the computer. It's like that level of disconnect.
Yeah, at least with that's like a tangible thing, so there at least is a computer and instructions. But like if somebody's asking you to like describe a color, I'm like, Hey, lady, there's no other way to describe this than red.
Wait.
Yeah, I got nothing else for you. It was red, which now I'm going crazy because I'm like, how do I describe? How do I explain what a color looks like?
Yeah, you're like, yeah, what does red look like? It looks like fire.
Yeah, which is
Kinda.
red.
Yeah, fire is red. It's like a
yeah, it's one of those things where it's like you can only like conceptualize it based on the fact that you already like know what it looks like. So if you had no like concept of a color, there would nobody could explain it to you. Right?
yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's true.
No, it is funny. Like,
Yeah, I know I'm thinking about that. That's why I was like,
the
yeah.
meltdown you
that's true.
had, Dalton, is so logical to me. It makes a lot of sense, but I would never have that kind of problem. Like, if someone asked me to describe the color of lemon, I would go, oh, it's like a bright light yellow, something similar to you may see on like custard or like a lemon meringue pie. Like I would have no problem describing color to people, but you're right. You really can't describe color like literally. You can only compare it to certain things.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you could like try to explain the vibe, but then vibes are felt differently. It feels like it looks hot. Like a temperature hot because it's red. But what is red? How do you?
Right.
Yeah, you can't explain.
Color.
And and I guess that's the issue is like the life of a Hasidic Jew is so devoid of any like color or joy or
Well,
brightness.
their interiors of their homes don't have much color in them, actually. I mean, I watched a really, really cool documentary that's on Netflix about Hasidic people who left the community. One became an actor. He moved out to LA, drove Uber. Another woman, she was like raped or something and left the community. And it was a really good movie, documentary. I check it out. I don't know what it's called, but it was good. Anyway, yeah, the interiors of the home are quite bland.
Mm-hmm.
The general dress code of the adults is quite bland. So I could imagine that being a little difficult to think about color.
Yeah. Yeah, they're weird people.
Canadians are like this too. Canadians have like all beige and tan and white and gray. The interior is colorful.
I like it when people are like real fucking gaudy with shit. Like
Russian.
Like, yeah, Russians or Iranians, Armenians, just fuck getting iced out and like gold and diamonds, wearing purple shit, and
I like that too.
Maximalism on 10.
Yeah, I just because I was just like watching something about this, like because now the trend amongst like mega wealthy people is kind of like what you saw in Succession with what they call like quiet luxury, where like people that are extremely rich, like multimillionaires and billionaires, will wear clothes that are like seemingly unassuming, but then you check the price tag on any of the shit they're wearing, and it's like a t-shirt that costs like $1,500. So they call it like quiet luxury. That like they're like decked out in clothes that have like no discernible brands or even look
Right.
like they would be expensive, but then it come to find out it's like a t-shirt, slacks, and sneakers.
Yeah, it's like
all together.
A polo that's $2,000.
Wait, I have a question, guys. What brand do you think my jacket is?
Van Buren.
What do you think, bro?
Nike.
It's UGG.
Oh wow! Because I was like, it looks athletic.
It's UGG. I have UGG underwear. UGG is making like Skims, like Kim Kardashian's underwear line. UGG makes like Skims. They make a bunch of other cool shoes that are not the UGGs, and they make like leisure and like activewear. Crazy.
Damn.
Oh, nice.
It's all comfy.
Oh my god, yeah. In June, I like copped like a ton of like underwear, bras, sweatshirts, shorts from.
I feel like I would feel offended wearing the underwear because it just says UGG. You're just wearing underwear that's like calling you ugly.
It's funny. Yeah, no, I like this shit. It's cool. I got my first tattoo this summer. Sarah.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah.
In case I forgot, you know.
Oh, nice.
I
Look
got
at this tattoo. It's
wow.
Oh,
Cal.
I love that. I love Calvin and Hobbes.
It's Calvin pissing on the cool S.
That's really funny.
Have you seen that thing I made about the S? I need to send it to you later. That's kind of trippy.
You made a thing about the S?
The first sketch I ever shot was like a 1-minute short about the S, and it won like a small film festival.
Oh, nice.
See, this is a cosmic.
Connect.
Oh, I've been talking about the cool S for years. No, that was just like something we were laughing about on our on the podcast I used to, the Loud Boys. Like we had this like 30-minute riff. I can't even remember exactly what we were all saying, but it was just like we were laughing so hard about like the cool S and like the idea of somebody actually getting this tattoo. So then when I was at Skankfest South, they had a tattoo booth, and I was like, "Hey, can you do this?" And they were like, "Yeah, of course."
That's way too cool. I mean,
It was the end point of the joke. You're like, I'm gonna have the punchline on me.
Yeah.
Like for work before I even took leave, and I was like, you know what, it's time to go get my name tattooed on myself because I'm gonna be with me till I die. Like it was almost like a thing of like, I just went through all that hell in Vermont and I'm gonna be okay. Like I am me. I've always thought fine line black lettering is beautiful. I'm gonna find a good artist. Fuck it, no, I'm gonna find any artist. I'm gonna get a tattoo tonight. And so I googled like tattoo now New York City. Matched with like a real artist who's actually very, very good.
Tattoos near me.
Tattoo now. And
I do love that, like the Google of like, and it's like a quarter of a mile.
Right. Anyway, I made an appointment, and it's just an ingenious tattoo artist from like Latin America who like drew my name like 5 different ways on his iPad and then showed me 5 different sizes. And we like put it on me as like a sticker, and then he did it, and it was like beautiful. I was like, wow, like I love this tattoo. I never thought I'd get one. I mean, over 31 and no tattoos, you think you're just not gonna get one. I'm 31, so do you guys tattoo, Bronwyn, or no?
No, it's really funny. I don't have any, but I've been feeling like I have a few ideas, and I've been feeling like maybe for a long time I felt like it needed to be something meaningful, and now I don't feel that way.
They hurt
because I waited so long, so I was like, it's got to be like really, and now I'm kind of just like, I don't know, I'm bored.
No, I mean they're all stupid. You end up just kind of regretting them no matter what.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, like you'll catch a glimpse of it in the mirror one day and think, yeah, that looks cool, and then another day you're like, I'm a fucking idiot. What was I thinking? Why did I do this?
I thought I had a tattoo. Like I was out at a party and someone called me Sarah. I was like, yo, how you know my name? And I was like, they were like, it's on you. I was like,
Oh, I do love you don't have to introduce yourself anymore. That's pretty.
I mean,
that's
and
pretty great.
My ID semi regularly. John and I got in a fiasco last night because I didn't have my ID, but you know,
you're like, I'm Sarah. It's on me.
And Sarah means
really, playing chess.
That means princess and wisdom, and don't you anybody forget it, okay?
Yeah. I wasn't planning on it.
What does Dalton or Bronwyn mean? What does this mean?
Dalton? I don't know. It's from Roadhouse.
Wait, you were named after Roadhouse?
Yeah, Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's a fun movie. Well, that's more fun than mine. Mine means purity. You can like smell the religious upbringing through that. So.
Well, you are pure, purely joy, purely sweet, purely kind.
Thank you.
You're the nicest person I've ever met. Bronwyn is like the nicest person I've ever met. Bronwyn has like such capacity. I got spoiled by you, frankly, because
capacity.
I was going through such.
What does that mean? Like she can eat a lot?
I can, yeah, that is true.
The thing is, like the first few years I met Bronwyn, like I was going through a lot of breakdowns, basically. And I could always go to Bronwyn and she would like compassionately listen to me and never judge me or be angry with me and be ready to do it again in 2 or 3 months. and never held it against me. There's not a lot of people like that, like in general.
Mhm.
I think you're giving me too much credit, but that is really nice.
You know?
Speaking of mental illness, wasn't that what you want? Sarah? Wasn't that what you wanted to talk about? Was like that lady who likes to.
Oh, yeah, we were reactions.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about that today. Just like I don't understand why people are like so eager to share these things about themselves.
Yeah.
Like you know, Bronwyn, I don't know if you
He's-
know. I don't know if she sent you this or not, but it
I
was
mentioned it to her.
yeah, that lady who was saying like she likes to leave a butt plug in while she's like trying to focus on things.
No, I didn't hear about
No, I
that
didn't tell her
specific
that
one.
one. I have to show her this. I'm gonna pull it up. I have our DMs available.
I do truly believe I would like to know
My
less.
plug helps me
That,
get
that's
thing done. Like I'm pretty sure I've cured.
I have. Oh my God, I have to share it. Let me connect the Zoom. Let me do screen sharing.
Yeah, it's. I saw a tweet. Yeah, that you just remember. I saw a tweet a while back that was like, just said we should all know way less about each other. I
exactly
agree with that. Yeah.
That's how I feel. Yeah. And it's funny because I've always been on the end of oversharing. Like I've always been that person. But I feel like in the last few years, the internet has become so into that now I'm not that person. And I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah, and I think it's also like as an age thing. Like as you just like get older, you naturally start realizing like I gotta fucking shut up and stop like telling.
Yeah. I'm like, I can't trust people. I
Yeah.
gotta
Here's the
protect
deal.
my energy.
Is either of you able to screen share? Because unfortunately, I'd have to quit Zoom and reopen it.
I don't know how. I mean, I'll just,
think
it's the video, the TikTok is pretty
Let's
self-explanatory.
listen to the audio. I can play the audio for sure.
It's a woman who likes to she likes to be plugged
You guys
while
hear
she.
My plug helps me get every single thing done. Like I'm pretty sure I've cured my ADHD. When I have one that's not too skinny, not too fat, and made of glass or this kind of material, I can get every single thing done. And I do not understand how it's happening. Some people say it's vagus nerve stimulation. Some people say it's just me stimming off the plug. Either way, it works. If I really need to focus something and I just slip one in, it's like it's done in rapid speed and I'm feeling great the whole time. Like I've never been so on task in my life with one in. I honestly think it has something to do with me focusing on like the sensation of something while I'm doing something else. It doesn't really give me room to like multitask and be pacing around and walking in circles around my apartment trying to get things done. Like the typical ADHD thing of starting and stopping tasks and pacing around and getting distracted. It's gone. It genuinely just helps me focus. And I don't know if people believed me or not, but I'm serious. If you're someone who really likes to clean in their birthday suit like me, and you have one with a little bedazzled end like this, it's really fun every time that you pass a mirror and you have a little bedazzled booty. And don't get me started. If I need to do editing or any sort of work on my computer, it's done in light speed. Oh, thank you.
Isn't that weird?
Mm-hmm. I mean, first
Bedazzled
off,
booty.
bedazzled booty.
That should be the name of this episode. Is
Bedazzled
booty.
I sail the high seas searching for bedazzled booty.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I
right?
just I love it because it's like clearly like kind of a kink or something for her. And if it's working for her, that's great. But it's so funny to be like prescriptive in a sense of this is what helps me. I thought you should all know in case you want to do it. It's like, no, we didn't want to know.
It definitely comes across as like a kink thing. Like, do you know what have you ever heard of free use? Oh. It's like a porn thing where like a woman will be on her laptop doing like QuickBooks or something. Just trying to like do taxes.
Yeah.
And then like her husband will come up to her and just start like shoving his dick in her mouth. But she'll be like sucking him off while she's still like doing taxes.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's kind of doing that to herself.
Yeah. So the idea is that it's people doing like household chores and errands
Wow.
while they have sex. Yeah, while they do
Sounds like
sexual stuff.
That's so productive. I could
Yeah.
never.
And I guess the kink is like, oh, she's still making pancakes while she's getting fucked. Like, that's so cool. So I guess with this lady, she likes the feeling of, I guess, being sodomized while she
yeah.
Yeah.
sweeps the
She's-
kitchen.
She's doing to herself what her job is doing to her.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I don't know what the
fact that she said, I'm pretty sure this cured my ADHD is setting everyone back so far.
maybe they should like instead of giving kids all these like stimulants, just give every child with a butt plug.
A butt plug.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Adderall back on the market.
We need this policy. This is what America needs.
Yeah.
Two pharmacies in New York City with fucking Adderall. Like no one in New York City has Adderall right now.
That is
That's
genuinely
wild.
scary. The shortage, that's scary.
I mean, I had to go to it was really cool. It was like a Jewish Sopranos type pharmacy in the Upper East Side. It was really cool. Like Jewish people, Black people, Hispanic people, like working in like old school pharmacy. Like you went up to what we would think of as like the typical like convenience store counter and pick up your prescription. It's like gum, it was really weird.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been to a pharmacy like that. I had to go there to get it. And it's because my fucking psychiatrist is like aware of who has it. Like, what? What is this?
You have to have a plug. You have to have a plug now to get your medication. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy shit. Scheduled full drugs. And it's like, it's funny because I did have a spell where I abused cocaine for like 2 or 3 months, then I quit it, and I was afraid to take Adderall because I had never got it prescribed until I was like 28, 29. But that shit works for me. It calms me down. Like it makes me relax. I can go to sleep and take it and go to sleep.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
Hell
it
yeah.
doesn't make me percolate. It just makes me like relax. Yeah. I don't know.
That's great.
Interesting.
Some people are like that. Like I need a lot of stimulation.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because Adderall always was really intense for me, but the few times I've done Coke, it like didn't do much for me. It's like, what's going on with my brain? Maybe it was bad Coke. I don't know.
Yeah, she stepped on baby formula.
Right? You're
Yeah.
Bronwyn?
What?
More into weed, right? Marijuana is more.
Yeah. I'm way more of a weed or a psychedelic person.
Mm-hmm.
What do you prefer? Dalton, you like psychedelics, right?
I liked a little too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't like anything now. I just stick with like coffee and Zen pouches.
Say no to drugs. I have
Hell yeah.
Oh,
What's
you're on
Zen?
that. It's like it's snuff for pussies. It's like
like chewing tobacco or like a lip tobacco. It's nicotine.
Oh, got it. Okay.
It's tobacco free nicotine, so it's just straight up like flavored nicotine in a pouch, and you put it
Oh,
and you put it in your lip, and it's not like snuff where you have to like keep spitting it. Like you could just swallow it.
Yeah,
You can't swallow the pouch, but you don't have to like.
I'm trying to.
yeah, you're not like. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because wait, what did you say?
I'm trying to quit vaping, so the Zen is good.
Right. Well, what'll end up happening, if you, and this is with everybody that does that, is you just end up doing both at the same time.
That's what I'm doing, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, you pop in a Zen, and then you're also like, ooh, I also want to vape now. So you're just like cooking your brain with nicotine.
Yeah, I'm like, why can't I sleep? Oh, I'm hyped up on caffeine, nicotine, and Adderall. Maybe that's why I can't.
Yeah, it's funny when you're like, I haven't done
Why do I
anything,
have to
and then
have a
you
glass of
actually think
wine?
about,
Oh yeah,
Glass of wine tonight. Why do I have to drink 2 or 3 glasses of wine? Oh, because I'm so fucking lit.
yeah. But people have been like this for the last like 100 years. You know, it was like old Hollywood. It was like all the stories of just like those actresses smoking like 80 cigarettes a day and getting pumped
Oh
full of like
yeah.
Fin and Dexedrine or whatever. And
What's that?
I don't know, like just different like old timey stimulants that I think are like illegal now.
Dexedrine.
Right? Yeah, Dexedrine, is that one?
Never heard of that. How
I
do I
don't know.
get
I
rid of-
was reading about medicine shows like in the 1800s where it was kind of like the circus for medicine because there wasn't really, you know, doctors and medicine as we know it now. And a lot of it was like people doing like cutting people open or like giving babies liquid meth. Like, so when you really think about it, things have gotten better.
Yeah. Yeah, the only anesthetic they had for a long time was just like cocaine.
Yeah.
Really? Topical?
No, it was like a liquid like I'm basing this off that TV show The Nick. So I don't know. I don't know how like accurate this is, but based on that show, the only anesthetic that was in hospitals at the time was cocaine.
Interesting. I mean, they used to have leeches to pull out people's blood, and they used to like do surgeries with no anesthesia. It's kind of insane.
Yeah, and they drain your humors,
Yeah, and
which
honestly,
is just like letting you bleed out.
Mhm.
worked. I mean, even myself, like this, like the concept of fasting. I've done that before on accident. Like when I went through that difficult thing in Vermont, I couldn't eat for like weeks.
Yeah.
Then once my body was like reset to that degree, I ate healthier because my body was like nutrients.
You could hear, you were so hungry that you could hear what your body wanted.
Want to hear how I broke my fast? I was like doing nothing but drinking water, wine, smoking weed, and sleeping. I couldn't cry or think.
Mhm.
And then in 2 weeks, I took honey with me into the bathroom because I had sores on my tongue because I was vaping so much and using Zyn and drinking. My whole mouth was fucked up by that. And
Oh God.
I knew that like if I put honey on my tongue, it would help soothe like the sores on my tongue. And I also know honey's a really good mask. So I took it in the bathtub with me as like a beauty supply. And then I ate a whole jar of honey in the bathtub.
I love honey.
Like Winnie the Pooh.
Ah, you were like Winnie the Pooh core. That's so cute.
It was awesome.
Pooh core. Were you wearing just like an ill-fitting
What
shirt?
a little
No-
shirt.
Yeah, no pants.
Yeah, I mean, did you know Winnie the Pooh was actually a Russian children's thing? It's called Winnie Pooh.
Vinnie Pooh. Hey, oh, it's me, Vinnie Pooh.
No,
Give me the fucking honey.
I that actually is funny imagining because like all the characters are so depressing. And they all have serious battles. And so that does feel very Russian. It's like the depression of it all.
Yeah, I only know the main three. Are there others besides Eeyore, Tigger, and Winnie the Pooh?
There's Rabbit. There's
Owl.
Piglet, Owl. There might be more. I don't know.
What is the Piglet and the Owl's issues?
Piglet is like scared of everything. And I think the owl is just smart.
Mentally ill.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the owl is like in a hyperfixation.
So I've often
Bye.
fantasized about making a sketch. We should do this. It's women pulling up at like a cosmetic dermatologist in New York City on like the Upper East Side and asking for a lobotomy.
Like
Okay.
I really feel like so wait, so how are they framing it? Like is it pretending like it's a nose job or Botox or something? Like, yeah, I just really feel like
I've also had
my thoughts are getting in the way of my my look.
Listen to this. Yes, exactly. My piece. Like beauty actually comes from within. Like you listen to all these gorgeous women talk about their beauty. They're like, I'm just so happy.
So lobotomies, like it was the new BBL. Like
It's like
You're trying to erase the horrors.
better to be a fool satisfied than a happy person dissatisfied. It's like this like Aristotle's kind of conjecture about how being dumb is bliss and being intelligent is difficult. I mean, yeah, and I've also had the idea for a cosmetic procedure named Dua Lipa. You know that artist named Dua Lipa? To me, that sounds like injections, dude. Like Dua Lipa, like what? I think it'd be cool to go request a Dua Lipa in a small lobotomy because the last one felt so good. You need it again because your brain's growing back, unfortunately, and you need it to go away because it's so fucking hard out here. I mean, that's how I feel.
It sounds Dua Lipa sounds like sort of like the opposite of a labiaplasty, where it's like you have more pussy lips added on. You go into a doctor and you're like, "Can I
You're
get
adding 2 more.
Yeah, can I get more pussy lips?"
Could I want to have like 6 of them flapping around.
Yeah.
It's just really, I want to salute the flag.
Yeah, I want to be able to, use it as a parachute.
Totally. Yeah, you got to have a safety.
That's so
Yeah.
funny. Oh my God. I love you guys. We need to wrap this up soon, unfortunately, but I have, of course, going to ask you guys to plug your shit again. And I'm just curious what y'all doing with the rest of your day.
Me, I got nothing going on. There's a new Mortal Kombat game out. I'm not gonna play it, but I am gonna watch the story mode on YouTube.
That's cool. I've never heard of that. What do you mean the story mode?
Like in the game, they have there's like a story mode, so it's just like all the cinematics from the.
Love that. I mean, I watched my college boyfriend play Grand Theft Auto Los Santos. Like, I loved watching him play the game. It had great story. I was like, listen, I don't play video games. I love watching a good narrative.
Yeah, because at the end of the last game, Liu Kang became some sort of god of time or something, and rewrote history. So it's
Wow. Yo, Bronwyn's girlfriend's incredible at video games.
Yeah, she
really.
is.
What does she
What doesn't she play?
She does like bow, 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 boom, 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 like action, like first person, like swordsmanship, like crazy shit. Like I was like, say what? Like
I did love when you sent me a video of you watching her play video games, and I was like, you're like, this is great.
yeah, like I can't do that, and I have no interest in it. Like you have to interest and talent to get good at that. That's like, we don't get to go to battle anymore. Nobody's really a Zelda. No one really goes to war unless you're in the military, and then you may die.
Zelda's the princess, so
I'm just saying, like,
maybe you're thinking of Link.
I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know any of that shit, dude. I don't know. It's just a hard, and I'm not interested.
You're like, no one goes to battle anymore, like Mario,
Yeah.
Nobody's an Italian plumber anymore, okay? Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Nobody's brothers with Luigi, and we need to do something about that.
The young men of today yearn for the combat of.
They need to return to the toilet with the plunger and make it happen.
Jumping on turtles. And
God, if I have a male son and he's definitely going to freaking martial arts, he's definitely learning jujitsu. I don't want him taking out his aggression on people.
They should have
wants to, obviously.
There should be a Mario arts, like a studio, like a dojo that teaches you how to fight like Mario.
Throw shells.
Yeah, where it teaches you like how all the jumps and.
So then you're just like a weird asshole at the beach who's like jumping and like throw.
Yeah, that's a good business idea. Is like open a dojo, and it's a Mario arts dojo, and it's like, they teach Mario style, Luigi style, Wario. They have like different.
Oh, there'd be so many nostalgic millennials there. That'd be such a cash grab.
Yeah, it's like you're no match for my Wario style. That's just being a fat guy, I guess. Yeah. Billion-dollar idea, everybody.
I think you should make this idea as the first billionaire podcaster. This seems like part of your ascent.
Mario arts, yeah.
Yeah, you're like, listen, okay, I've been in the studio. I've been ideating.
Mhm.
You know, when people say that, ideating.
That's
I've
funny.
been
Yeah, I gotta-
Well, you guys
You-
plug yourselves and I'll wrap the episode. I'll at least stop recording. We can all hang out if you want to. But
plug my
plug
ass.
you. Plug yourself. Thank you. Plug your ass.
Yeah.
Go
Who's going first?
Dalton, then Bronwyn.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have a podcast called Corn Fed with Dalton Pruitt. It's on the Billionaire Podcast Network. I'm the founder and CEO of the Billionaire Podcast Network, the first billionaire podcaster. Yeah, there's that show, and then new show coming called where I seen them before. It's a celebration of guys.
Cool. And
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, just follow me online and I will post about live shows. I mean, right now I'm in Amsterdam, so I don't really know how many people here would be able to see me, but come through. And I will post when I actually have writing to show people again. So follow me at braun.computer.
Sweet. And my last plug is I'm running a show in Brooklyn like I did last year with Bronwyn during the fall for a progressive candidate. I'm running one, hosting it for Zelnor Myrie. He's a New York City senator who got a bill passed, I think wrote it or championed it to make sure that the state matches funding 1-for-1. So if you or I gave $5 to any politician in New York State, the state gives $5 as well. So it's an incredible bill. It's an amazing bill. And I'm running a show for him in Bed-Stuy on the 26th of October.
Hell yeah.
Show. We're gonna try to pack it out. I'll add links to my bio soon, but I'm excited for that show.
That's great.
Over a month from now. I'm like not doing comedy much, stand up, but you know, it's a fun show. I love hosting, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Hell yeah.
Because I was so depressed, you know, when you and I did that show for Julia Salazar, I was out of it. I was messed.
That was a fun show though.
Really carried it. Thank you for doing
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun. A ton of fun. I was in a weird position where I was moving to Vermont and all that. You know, you came and saw me a month later.
Yeah, I mean there's like a lot going on.
Oh,
Moving is hard.
Remember
Yeah.
why I was depressed. Whatever.
Just
Not anymore.
everything. Life.
Yeah. Anyway, love you guys. I'm gonna stop the recording. Stop.